Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're doing a deep dive into one of the most secretive, ridiculously wealthy, and truly powerful empires on the face of the planet. And listen, right up front, the tone for our journey today is way less traditional corporate biography and much more high-stakes thriller. I want you to just picture a scenario for a second. Imagine you are completely, utterly ruined. Just let the gravity of that word sink in. Your body is actively failing you. You're locked away in this tiny, dark kitchen. You've been completely stripped of your resources. And your only weapons, literally the only things you have left to your name, are a few meager grams of sugar and cocoa. Now, this isn't just some hypothetical thought experiment. This was the dark, desperate reality for a man named Frank Mars. You know, the legendary inventor behind some of our absolute favorite chocolates. And what this broken man is about to mix up in his pot is going to lay the absolute foundation for one of the most fiercely guarded and phenomenally wealthy corporate empires in human history. Part 1. An Empire of Despair. Part 2. The Shadow of Bankruptcy. To truly understand how this massive empire was forged out of pure desperation, without endless venture capital or state-of-the-art facilities, we really got to look at Frank's early struggles. Just look at how these odds built up. During his childhood, Frank was struck by polio. He was confined indoors, physically unable to run outside and play like the other kids. So, to keep him occupied and, lift his spirits, his mother taught him the only thing she could: how to make candy by hand. It was just this simple, sweet distraction. But by age 19, he's taking those kitchen lessons and trying to forge a real path. Fast forward a bit to when he tries to launch his first real confectionery business, and what happens? Total unmitigated disaster, complete failure. By the time he's past 30, he hits total bankruptcy. He's lost absolutely everything. So let's think about his incredibly unique mindset here. Think about the logical choice. Any normal person in their early 30s, plagued by frail health, physically exhausted, with absolutely zero money in their pockets, they would have thrown in the towel, right? They would have abandoned everything. But that wasn't Frank. Frank was driven by an unyielding, absolute obsession to succeed. Quitting simply wasn't in his vocabulary, even when literally every piece of logic was screaming at him to stop. Part 3. The Miracle in the Kitchen. Okay, imagine the energy shifting in that tiny room. Frank takes the absolute bare minimum he can afford, starts completely from scratch, and he is just channeling sheer panic. Look at the intense, suffocating pressure he was under. Starting from zero with almost nothing, putting himself through hundreds of test mixtures, endless, sleepless nights, and just truly unbearable stress. Because he knows, with absolute certainty, that if he fails one more time, he is out on the street. The looming threat of homelessness is staring him right in the face every single time he stands over that hot stove. And the crucial point is how he channeled that panic into this relentless, obsessive process. Step 1, caramel. Step 2, nougat. Step 3, chocolate. Over and over and over again. Trial and error, mixing, tasting, failing, adjusting. It was this repetitive, almost hypnotic rhythm in that kitchen. He is desperately trying to find the perfect harmony of these three elements, building incredible anticipation night after night as he chases that one elusive, perfect recipe that could literally save his life. And then we arrive at 1923. On one highly specific, fateful night that year, something in his mind and in that mixing pot finally clicked. An idea whispered to Frank Mars that wouldn't just save him from the streets, but would completely and utterly revolutionize the global sugar and confectionery industry forever. That idea was the invention of the Milky Way, and what followed was an absolute, unprecedented explosion of success. I mean, think about the incredible contrast here. We just saw him ruined, penniless, physically broken, facing down complete failure, and in an instant, this single invention catapults him into massive, earth-shattering triumph. The Milky Way literally changed everything for him overnight. Let's just slow down for a second, because there's a phrase that perfectly anchors our entire story today. The most colossal empires are not born in glass skyscrapers. They just aren't. They're born in small, dark rooms, carried on the shoulders of people who are standing right on the edge of the abyss. And that brilliantly illustrates the sheer grit, the pain, and the absolute resilience it takes to build something truly legendary out of thin air. And here is what you should really take away from all of this. What matters is not where you start. It's having the courage to take the first step. What's really fascinating is how this applies directly to us, right? We've been looking at the history of a candy bar, but the core lesson, it's about human endurance. Whether you're building a business, learning a complex new skill, or just trying to navigate a tough period in your life, Frank's story is proof that rock bottom can sometimes be the exact foundation upon which you build your greatest success. Part 4. A Ruthless Family More. Now, the tone has to shift pretty drastically here, because Frank's miraculous invention, that was merely the spark. A much darker, far more intense sequel was about to begin right within the walls of Mars family itself. Enter Forrest Mars, Frank's own son, and with him, a truly ruthless, bitter family war kicks off. The crucial point here is that it wasn't just Frank's initial kitchen desperation that built the company to its current scale. No, it was this intense, unforgiving father-son conflict that truly forged the secretive, billionaire industrial monster that currently dominates the globe. Which leaves us with this massive, hanging question. How on earth did a conflict between a father and his son give birth to M&Ms and ultimately create the best-kept secret in America? I mean, really think about that. How does family betrayal and intense rivalry directly lead to those little candy-coated chocolates you see at literally every checkout counter in the world? It's an incredible mystery. We're going to have to uncover that truth next time we dive into the source material. But for now, let this extraordinary story of desperation and grit sink in.